Hello, sweet friends! My name is Birdie, and I'm your friendly neighborhood forest witch. And blessed Ostara, I hope everyone had a beautiful spring equinox. But in today's video, I will be sharing 7 ways that you can incorporate eggs into your magical practice. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first way you can use an egg in your practice is through egg divination. Now, there are many different ways you can scry and decipher an egg yolk, but in this video, I'll be going over how to use an egg divination to cleanse yourself of negative energy. For example, hold the egg in your hands, letting it warm up just slightly, then blow or speak your intention onto the egg, mentioning any negative energy or toxicity that you'd like to get rid of, and then say the following words. With this cleanse, I rid myself of bad energy. Then run the egg over your entire body, so over your face, your head, the back of your head, your chest, your abdomen, and down your legs. And while you do this, focus on releasing any negative energy into the egg. Visualize the egg pulling out and absorbing any bad energy from your body. Then crack the egg into a glass of water and try to keep the yolk intact. Let the egg settle for 5 to 10 minutes and then interpret the results. Then look through the glass, not down into it when you read the results. Decipher the shape of the yolk, the shape of the egg whites, and the color of the water. For example, smelly water or blood is a good indication that someone has used magic against you. It could also mean that you have an illness or disease that you haven't discovered yet. There might also be bubbles in the water or in the egg whites, which means that your cleansing ritual was a success. And if there are large bubbles or balloons in the water, it means the egg absorbed a lot of negative energy. And this may be a sign that you need to do a second cleansing ritual to fully rid yourself of the negative energy. Or there may be cobwebs in the whites, meaning you may have had an evil eye placed upon you. Cobwebs can also be an indication that you're tangled up in a confusing situation that's causing you distress. The egg whites might also be making shapes that look like needles or spikes, which means there are people around you with bad intent. This may be energy vampires sucking away your positive energy and leaving you with only bad vibes, or hoping you don't succeed or reach your goals. Also, seeing a face in the yolk means that you have an enemy who envies you or who is thinking negatively of you. So try to interpret who the egg looks like, and this will help you gain insight on who is causing you harm or distress. And lastly, if the water is clear, it means you had no negative energy, and it's a good indication that your feelings may be due to something else. The second way you can use an egg in your practice is to craft candles with the shells for candle magic. I made some of these last year, and I melted down some Scentsy wax and used a wick from a tea light candle, which worked perfectly, and they smell, oh my goodness, they smell so good. You can also add different herbs and crystals like you would a regular spell candle, as well as using color, like this one is orange for creativity, and scent magic to intensify your spell. And as a lover of birds, number 3 may not come as a surprise, but I love incorporating eggs into my decor, especially into bird nests. And for me, this symbolizes life, fertility, and rebirth. And actually, the other day, I came upon this video where this lady turned an egg into a beautiful little flower holder. And of course, I can't find the video now. I'm so bummed, but I did get this idea from a video I had seen. So I made one of those and I placed it in my foyer near my front door as a home protection charm. And it turned out so adorable. Next, number 4 involves garden magic and is to use an eggshell as a seed starter and place intention into whatever it is you're planting. For example, this year I would love to make over my garden and flower beds, so I created a sigil for garden rebirth and planted my first wildflower seedling. You can also add a sigil to the outside of the shell depicting what it is you're trying to manifest. Then, as your seedling grows, you have a beautiful representation of your goal. Then number 5 is to use eggshells for protection. So after you use an egg for kitchen witchery or what have you, wash out the shells instead of throwing them away and set them aside to dry. Then use a mortar and pestle to crush them. You can leave them as little pieces of shell like I do, or you can crush them up into a fine powder. Either way, they are great to use for adorning candles and in charm bags for protection. Next is number 6, which is to craft a wishing egg. Now, people craft their wishing eggs in different ways, but in today's video, I'm going to be using these wooden eggs that I found at Michael's. I got a pack of 3 for $9.99, but they were 40 or 50% off, I think, so that was really nice. And these ones actually open up so you can put things inside, so I really liked that. So the great thing about these is you can personalize them to whatever you're trying to manifest. So since this year I am trying to manifest prosperity and lowering my debt, I thought it would be really cute to Mod Podge some real 4-leaf clovers over my egg. So I'm going to be first painting it with this white acrylic paint. And then I found this beautiful pearlescent white that I want to go over it. And then after that dries, I want to Mod Podge some of these clovers all over. And then on the inside, when you open it up, I want to use some of this gold paint. I thought that would be really beautiful. So let's go ahead and paint these, and then I'll show you how to craft the wishing egg spell. Oh my goodness, this turned out gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Look at that gold. Isn't that beautiful? I don't want to seal it yet because I didn't put what I want to put inside of it yet, but I think this turned out so pretty. You could even Mod Podge some dry florals on yours as well if you were doing something with abundance or beauty. But yeah, I think this thing is so pretty. Now let's delve into the spell for the wishing egg. It's best to craft this spell on the first full moon of spring, so the first full moon after the spring equinox, which is coming up on March 25th, but you can also craft it on Ostara itself or during the waxing moon as well. Then after your egg is painted and dry, make a wish for the coming season. Visualize filling your egg with intention or write it on a piece of paper and place it inside the egg. Then fill the egg halfway with either bird seed, flower seeds, or biodegradable glitter. After you've filled the egg, close it up and leave it under the full moon or waxing moon for one night. And then place it on your altar for one full moon cycle. Then whenever you see it or you're doing other work on your altar, take a few minutes to place further intention into your egg. Once one full moon cycle is complete and it's full again, go outside with your egg. Hold the egg in your hand, close your eyes, and imagine the egg is glowing with your intention. Then unseal the egg and scatter the seeds or glitter. As you do so, visualize sending your intention into the world so that it may bear fruit come fall. Then last but not least is number 7, which involves kitchen witchery. Now, the other week I came across another video where a lady made her own egg separator, and I've been wanting one of these for a while now, and I just haven't ended up buying one. So I thought it'd be fun to try and replicate the one in this video. Now, I've only ever worked with clay once, and that was on my channel like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And it turned out terrible. The clay cracked and it was a mess. But I'm just going to wing it and hope for the best. So here goes nothing. So like I said, I'm just going to be winging this egg separator. So based upon the video, it looks like you just need some sort of clay, and I'm choosing air drying clay. I actually probably should have done oven baked clay to make the process move a little quicker, but here we are. I got this at Hobby Lobby for $3.99, and actually I believe their clay was 40 or 50% off that week that I got it, so that was a great deal. I also picked up a mini clay tool set from Michaels, and it comes with 8 different tools that we can use. It looks like you'll also need some sort of jar or cup. It looks like she used a wine glass, but I didn't have one of those, so I'll just be using this jar here that I got from Dollar Tree. And then she also used a rolling pin. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make, I guess, a smaller one to fit the top of this jar. And so I won't need all this. So I'm just going to save the rest of it in a Ziploc bag. And then we're just going to design it. I thought that I would put some witchy symbols on there, maybe the different element symbols. That would be really pretty. I was originally going to do a pentagram, but I think that's not going to be thick enough. Like, I think it'll be too thin for what we need it for. And it does have to be a little thicker so it doesn't, you know, break and things like that. So let's go ahead and wing this and see how it turns out. So this is how the egg separator has turned out. Now, it's not fully dry yet, but it is starting to harden a little bit. It's probably gonna take about 24 hours for it to completely harden. And as you can see, I didn't end up doing the elements on it, and that's because this clay is super sticky. It was sticking to the rolling pin, so I couldn't use that. I actually had to use the jar to roll it out. And it was also sticking to these wooden clay tools, so I couldn't use them. So I ended up using a knife. Now, if there is a better clay that I could have used for this, please let me know, because this was actually pretty fun. And I loved, like, I ended up coming up with using this little cookie cutter with the flower to do like a spring themed one, and I think it turned out really cute. So I might want to try it again with a different type of clay. So definitely let me know if you've ever worked with clay before, which clay would be best to make an egg separator like this. Also, I am not using the jar to dry it on, and that's because the opening here isn't big enough. We want a big enough opening to create this little dip here so the egg can sit down inside and the whites can seep out. So I ended up using this little tumbler here that I have, and that created this perfect little dip here. And I just used my knife and created these little vines, and I think it turned out pretty cute. The only thing is, as it's starting to dry, it is starting to droop. So I think I'm going to come up with something to hold this little lip up so it'll stay up like that. But other than that, I'm really excited to see how this turns out, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it won't crack. So let's wait 24 hours and see what it looks like. So it's been a little over 24 hours and it's still squishy in spots, especially the base. So I'm probably going to let it set another 24 hours and see how it does. But for video purposes, I'm gonna leave it at this. Now, once it completely cures, you're gonna wanna seal it with a food safe sealer. Now, I don't have one of those on hand yet. I did place an order for it, but it's not here yet. So before you use it for any eggs, you'll wanna seal it and let that fully dry. Another thing is, I noticed that the holes started to close up as it dries. So I just took the tool and ran it back through the holes to open them up a little bit more. But other than that, I think it turned out really cute, and I can't wait to use it for some kitchen witchery this spring. And that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it and found inspiration for using eggs in your magical practice this spring. I had a lot of fun crafting all these things for you. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, friends. Bye.